a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Croke Park. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Dublin. Hard to imagine that there's a storm on the way, but here it is. It's absolutely benign, beautiful conditions for a game of football. Well, two matches coming up to you today. The first very shortly is Munster versus Leinster, and then at 7:30 over in RT2, it's Connacht against Ulster. And this is all following on the very good work, of course, of the Football Review Committee. They've been working very, very hard, making plans, trying to make changes, trying to improve the game of Gaelic football as we know it. And, of course, their chairman is Jim. Jim is joining us for commentary this evening. Jim, good to have you with us. You've got 24 hours now since the first two matches here we had last night. What are your thoughts at this stage?
Yeah, we're very happy with progress, Ger. It's the games we saw last night are really what we were seeing in our games, practice games, the last being up in Clontarf in Cavan and Mullahoran before that. So in some ways last night was a bit of a dress rehearsal for this evening. It's very challenging for the players just to get it conceptually, get the rules last weekend, then go through a briefing and then get into a game. So I'd imagine there's a lot of reflection this morning, particularly from the Leinster team. Didn't turn up last night, so Munster played very well, and I think we're in for, as you said, it's a beautiful evening in Croke Park, and we're in for two really exciting games. Well,
we saw some great skills last night, and we're looking to see more this evening. It should be two very good matches.
They are, yeah. So in terms of the skills, well, we did the survey, got over 7,000 responses. The top 5 things people want to see, Ger, are kick passing, long-range scores, goal scoring, high fielding, and one-to-one creativity. And that's what we saw last night.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing some more of that. Let's have a check then on the teams we have in action for this opening match here, as Kieran Kilkenny prepares there, part of the Leinster team. And Leinster, just like Munster, will probably use their full complement of 30 players at some stage. Kieran Byrne of Louth, he was their top scorer against Connacht, scoring a goal and 3 during a very fine second half. You can see him there in that half-forward line. James McCarthy captains the team, and he's there in midfield alongside Athlone and Westmeath's Ray Connellan. Brian Howard is playing centre half-back. So let's move on to Munster, and the Munster team narrowly beaten by Ulster last night, but that was in no small part because of the goals that were scored by Sean Walsh of Waterford and Diarmuid O'Connor, their captain, who of course is from Kerry. Sean Walsh starting in midfield there with Colm O'Callaghan from Cork. Matty Taylor, another Cork man, is at left half back. Chris O'Jones is leading the attack at this stage with Aaron Griffin and Cillian Spillane of Kerry. One of the interesting points of the match last night, Jim, which I think people would have found interesting, is when Cillian Spillane got a free, it was because of descent, and it was a 50-metre free, one of the new suggestions that your body is bringing through. And Cillian had the chance of taking the free from inside the new arc, the new 40 metres out from goal, but he chose to bring it back outside that and give himself a chance of scoring 2 points and not 1.
Yeah, so any free kick conceded inside the arc, Ger, you take it from that particular position. We have made proposals for descent, for delaying play, that the ball could be advanced 50 metres. And if the ball is advanced 50 metres to inside the arc, the option to take the free from that position or to move it back to the arc, as Cillian did last night.
Well, the start of the match here, which is going to be refereed by Conor Lane, will see just 2 players competing for the ball when the referee throws it in. Again, watching it last night, we didn't see anybody try to catch the ball. It was being punched forward.
Yeah, so the reason that proposal was brought in, Ger, is that we got some, when we look at the current rule where you got 4 players jumping, there's a lot of fouling, it looks messy, and the statistics that we got from TUD was that for every 10 tropes there's a foul of 6 out of 10 times. If we had 8 tropes last night, there was no foul. So what we're trying to do here is to get the game flowing from the off, as we're going to see in a few moments.
Well, we're ready in the centre of the field, and Brian McNamara of Clare in the blue strip is there to compete with Ray Connellan. Referee throws the ball in, Connellan gets his hands to it and now takes it back for Leinster, playing in green, playing into the on our left-hand side, and that's a very good catch inside before the challenge came in from Julian, and the player who was fouled there was Kevin Feely. Kevin from Kildare, one of the Kildare players in action, and has the opportunity now of putting this one over the crossbar. Feely, a former Republic of Ireland under-21 soccer international, hits it direct and straight, gets a wide puts it over the bar, and there's the opening point of the match. A good start by Leinster.
Yeah, good use of Kevin there. They tried him last night, and I think you're going to see a lot more kicking, Kevin, particularly inside the 20-metre line. Good start for Leinster.
Goalkeeper for Munster is Josh Ryan of Limerick, and of course Josh is a former outfield player, injured some time back, so they played him in goal for Limerick. He's done very well, and Leinster have won that ball back there straight away, and it's taken very smartly by Brian Howard initially, and now the captain James McCarthy getting it across over there towards John Small, and then back into the centre it comes again. Connellan booting it forward, but that has seen Munster win that one back pretty easily there, and they move forward into the attack now. Owen Cleary playing it outside as far as Emmett McMahon. Two Clare players in action, but that's a little wayward. Ball dropped initially there, but won back clearly by Leinster once, taken up smartly here and away by Kieran, looking to exert a big influence in the middle of the park. Kieran Byrne, number 5 for Leinster in the green. He was outstanding when he came on in the second half last night, and as Jim was saying, Leinster were rather flat-footed and out of sorts very much for the opening half. This is a good run forward here by Paddy Small. 2 points last night. Small to add to Leinster's early advantage over the crossbar. Nice score. Great work by Paddy Small.
Yeah, good start again by Leinster. Big difference in the first opening minutes. That breaking ball that they won in the midfield that they lost last night, and again very direct by Paddy.
Getting by, first of all, Tyg Morley and then Damien Burke as well. Great play. Aaron Griffin now over there on the Hogan Stad side on a perfect evening for football. Nicely back inside here towards Tyg Morley, the Temple No player. On it comes to Sean Welsh, the Waterford man, who got a fine goal in the semi-final last night. First Waterford man to score a goal in football here at Croke Park for quite a while, since 2010. I think it was Liam O'Lenon who got a goal for them that time. Here he is again. That was in the 4th Division League final back in 2010, a long time ago. Here's Aaron Griffin once more. Bounces nicely for Dara Cashman, the young Cork player. All the way across, driven forward here now by Matty Tate. Collected very well at the back there. Nicely out of trouble by Ronan Wallace. Still moving it out here, helped there by Sean Bugler, evading the first challenge. Moved quickly. Wallace again has Bugler to aim at, but it's well cut out, and the referee is going to bring it back.
Yeah, good defensive play by Leinster, and they're off with the tap and go.
And the tap and go sees Porter here. That's Owen Porter. Have a go, scored last night. Hasn't scored just there. First wide of the match by Leinster. But that tap and go is a nice introduction, and I think a lot of players are going to really warm to it.
Yeah, they speed it up. Great defensive play there by Ronan Wallace, so good to see that one-to-one defending coming back into the game.
Josh Ryan kicking it out. They're able to build from the back now. Jimmy Feehan, Tipperary footballer, won a Munster Championship medal back in 2020. And this is Ian Maguire. He was playing that day down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh for Cork. Nicely across. Once again, it's Sean Walsh holding off the initial challenge. Munster now looking to get their opening score here in this game. Dara Cashman and the referee blows up. Is it because one of the players has gone over the halfway line?
Yeah, that looks like there was... we just need to see a signal from the referee, but it looks like there wasn't 3 players back for Munster, so it's a free kick.
Not sure if we're going to hear the referee as we did last night, because it was very clear last night when we could hear it. It's going to be a free kick anyway, and it's Kieran Kilkenny who's going up there, more than willing to take it. So the Castleknock man scored in the first match of the series, and he's done the job here. An easy enough kick by his standards. So Leinster have made the perfect start, Jim. 3 points up at about 5 minutes into the opening quarter.
Yeah, much better from Leinster tonight. Much more focused, and looks like they could win from their scorer.
Well, they certainly could be. And a goal is worth 4 points, remember. Well, they're content to just take a point instead, and it's Kilkenny. 2 in a row by Kieran Kilkenny.
Yeah, so we have that 40-metre arc. See more longer kicking, more one-to-one contests, and if you don't get your kick up right, you can be punished, as we saw there.
And that's what happened. Josh Ryan trying to target his man, but didn't manage to do so. Penalised as a result. So Josh Ryan once again Jimmy Lee, the manager of Limerick, responsible for putting him in goal during the championship season. Once again, Brian Howard anchoring that Leinster defence. Wallace playing it forward. Carried on again here by Kieran Byrne. And Byrne with this angled shot. They were going over last night. That's in play here. Kevin Feely trying to set something up here. Here's a chance. Rolled into the back of the net there. Beautifully done. And once again, it's John Small complimenting what his brother did earlier on. His brother Paddy got an earlier point, and John was on cue this time to get a 4-point score for Leinster, and they've had a dream start here.
Yeah,
1-4.
that all came from, again, the breaking ball. Brown Howard worked it up, great kick passing forward, and nice ball inside to John to finish.
So this time more caution used by the goalkeeper and his defenders to make sure that went outside the arc. And now it's Matty Taylor, one man who loves to go forward at every opportunity. Damien Burke from Kerry, nicely forward. Into the corner here it comes towards Owen Cleary. Cleary trying his luck with this one. It's gone to the right, and that's gone wide. And I think that is their first wide of the match. So one wide per team. Stephen Cluxton with the kick out. Forward it goes as far as Owen Porter again. Great opportunity for the likes of Owen Porter and many more players from counties that don't figure out in big matches at Croke all that terribly often to play in this Alliance football Interprovincial series. Thing is, they're enjoying themselves. They're looking like they're having a lot of fun down there. That's the object of the exercise as well.
Well, it is, yeah, but I think it's a bit more competitive. You know, Leinster got obviously off to a good start. What we saw there, the ball was moved up because the ball wasn't handed back directly to the player, and which is really the Leinster player was trying to delay the play, and I suppose the penalty here is that Munster could have a potential 2-pointer.
And it's going to be taken by goalkeeper Josh Ryan from Ula. He was the top scorer for Limerick in the 2022 championship with a goal and 11, eyeing the target on a near perfect night for football here in Dublin. And that one has gone away to the left-hand side, so a second wide by Munster. Still haven't managed to get their opening score. There are 4 quarters in this match, 15 minutes per quarter. So we're halfway through the opening one here as James McCarthy comes and gathers. And then he stepped out over the line, but he was being fouled in any case there by Colm O'Callaghan. And now it's an opportunity for Owen Porter from Wexford to advance once again. Here he comes, slipping it inside here. Up there to support him was Kieran Byrne. Taking it back here is Kieran Downey. Lost it. And Munster now can break quickly. Colm O'Callaghan feeding it forward. Ian Maguire, wearing number 31, came on in the second half last night in the opening match. Carried on by Maurice Shanley. Combination of Cork players involved initially. And now that final kick there delivered by Dara Cashman, but straight to goalkeeper Stephen Cluxton. This ball kicked out here. Leinster able to retain it and do so through James Naughton from Limerick. Down along the line he goes there towards Paddy Small. One back, however. And it's Damien Burke once again from Kerry, from the Naguel club, just outside Tralee. Moved on quickly to Tig Morley. And they reach Maurice Shanley. Maurice from Clonakilty in Cork. Back it comes once again to Sean Walsh. And they'll be looking for Sean to exert a big influence like he did during most of the second half in Munster's match yesterday. Here's Cillian Spillane. Now, who's going to get the opening point for Munster? They need a score. Dara Cashman feeding it inside. Taken on here by Cillian Spillane. Little half block on that one. And one back in the end by Leinster, and Ronan Wallace coming up to mop it up there, take it under control and win the free kick.
Turn your boot as well, please.
Yeah, good play by Ronan again. I think what's really interesting is you can see the more kick pass in the game because the ball isn't, you can't go back to the goalkeeper, Jer, so we can see the ball being moved up more vertical up the pitch, a lot quicker, so that's good to see.
Yeah, lots and lots of new features. And it means an awful lot of people are talking about Gaelic football at a time when the inter-county season is in recess.
Yeah, I think even the display here, typically you would have seen that ball going back from Brian Howard back to maybe to Stephen Cluxton, but it's been moved forward to John Small, and you can see the players now, they're looking up the pitch. Heretofore, they might be looking back towards the goalkeeper to recycle the ball.
Right now it's Ray Connellan. Ray, who had a spell with St Kilda's in the AFL in Australia. Carried on here well. Donald Keoghan involved, now James McCarthy. Ronan Wallace has been very, very busy so far from Multifarnham in Westmeath. Again, the referee sees something inside there. He's awarding a free kick.
Yeah, I think there's a pull off the ball, and it's a 20-metre free.
So an opportunity for Leinster to extend their lead here. Damien Burke being spoken to by the referee, Conor Lane. Conor Romano has refereed 3 All-Ireland senior football finals. Very experienced official.
It has been noticed, Ger, of the last, this is the 3rd game now, that all the off-ball pulling and dragging, the referees and the umpires are certainly picking that up today.
Kevin Feely with his 2nd point of the match. First to come from a free kick. So it's a very, very handsome lead so far for Leinster in this game. 1-5 to no score. And we're hoping we won't have a repetition of what happened with Connacht playing against Leinster last night.
Yeah, Munster do need to get into the game now, and the current scores, they're 9 points to no score, so they need to get a score on the board very soon.
They've got a chance now as that ball is kicked ahead there by Emmett McMahon, collected here by Owen Cleary. Can the Clare men manage to get themselves a score here, which Munster need? And again, it's dropped short into the safe hands of Stephen Cluxton.
Yeah, that's 2 drops short, 1 missed free, so yeah, shot selection from Munster, yeah, it's not great tonight.
And that's a huge one downfield. Well, again, this is a feature that we might not, certainly would not have seen very often in the football that we watch on a regular basis. That long probing kick. Didn't quite come off, but Munster have a chance now with Chris Oak-Jones trying to battle for that one. And
again, that's great defending by Donald Keoghan, 1-to-1. That's what people want to see. Great stuff.
And they're seeing lots and lots of good stuff here. Brian Howard all the way across towards Paddy Small. They're at great pace. Watching him go again here, taking on his man. Good ball carrier, very confident in himself, and very aware as well where the others are. Kieran Kilkenny throws the shoulder, makes that little run across there. John Small this time, man who got the goal earlier on. Nice ball inside here. It would have been probably a mark in the game we've had up to now with Kevin Feely catching that, but not in this. Ball is to go from the outside the 45-metre line inside the 20-metre line before there's a mark, and there's a little variation on it as it stands as well within these rules. That's Brian Howard booted in here. Chance for Kieran Downey, get at the end of it. Taking it back here from Kieran Byrne. Little trade of passes here. Downey again. Brian Howard slipping it across, this time for Sean Bugler to advance, and then taken up by Ray Connellan, and that one might come inside but doesn't quite do so, and he's just out of luck, Ray Connellan. That's their 2nd wide of the match.
It is, yeah, but a very well worked score, and I think when there's only 11 back, Jerry, you can see there's a little bit more space there for the players to attack.
Coming up tomorrow, the FAI Women's Cup final from 2:15 from Tallaght Stadium, Athlone Town against Shelburne. Back here live at Croke Park right now, it's Kieran Byrne setting up an attack. Good move, really good move. Small back to Byrne, it comes again. Tight angle, but he's put it over the crossbar. He's done extremely well, following up on the very good form he showed last night. Yeah,
great score by Kieran Byrne there. And again, you can see the Munster team, Jared, just pushing out on that arc, because they know if they don't, there could be a potential 2 points. And the consequence in a positive sense is from an offensive play that there's space inside and well exploited by Leinster and Kieran Byrne. Great score.
Referee just stopping the clock, which he's able to do because there's an injury here to Paddy Small. He's making sure that Paddy's okay and able to continue.
Yeah, we've seen a big increase, 6% increase in ball and play time, Ger, last night, the last 2 games, and as we can see there, the referee can stop the clock if he believes that there's an injury or for a substitution.
Tyke Morley put that one downfield, down as far as Owen Cleary, and Owen Cleary fouls, and the end result is that Leinster are able to take the ball forward again with Kieran Downey.
Yeah, so we've got 30 seconds left, and you can see the Leinster players are aware of this. They're trying to put momentum in to get a shot off before the hooter goes.
So let's see what they're able to do. They've done an awful lot well so far in this game. John Small across here once again to Sean Bugler. Bugler ready to take it, but there were 2 Munster players who got in the way. One of them was Sean Walsh, but Leinster have it back again and could finish with the final score of this opening quarter, and they've done exactly that. And very good play by a Dublin player, and it's there. Owen Merchant getting his first point in his first attack. And so at the end of the opening quarter, it is Leinster doing all of the scoring, 1-7 to no score. What do you make of it, Jim?
Yeah, much better from Leinster. You know, when you look at the score there, Ger, it's 1-7 to no score. So even in old money, that will be 10 points to no score. So there's a dominant team in this half. And there has been some talk about, you know, the 4-point goal, making the games that teams can get ahead very quickly. Well, we've had seven normal points there and a goal, which is obviously 4. So it's in old money that will be 10 points. In new money, it's 12.
Right, let's get another perspective now and go down to the sideline and join Damien Lawler.
Thanks very much, Ger. Jack Cooney, the Leinster coach, is with me. Jack, just a great start this time around compared to yesterday. What was the key message for you guys beforehand?
Get a bit of structure around our play. Make sure we're well organised and well set defensively, first of all, because we were opened up yesterday in the first quarter. A little bit more composure, a little bit more control on the ball. I think the lads have done that very well. And it's amazing, like, you play one game and you take plenty of learnings from it and you're better for it.
That's a crucial question. Before I let you back to the team, are you building on last night's experience already? Because it was a slow start, there was no physicality, but you're kind of saying to me that the more experience you have at it, Jack, the better.
100%. Like, the game isn't an awful lot different than what it has been or what it is currently. And we probably approached it last night with a bit more of an exhibition kind of thing on it. So it's just really good to have a bit more structure around it. And still, at the end of the day, defence is important, keeping possession is important.
Jack, I'll let you back to your team. Thank you so much for your time. James Horan is with me as well, Ger. James, great to meet you first of all again. Just your opinion, maybe the 24 hours from last night games into maybe just the reaction, the feedback that you've got.
Yeah, a lot of positive reaction. Obviously, the first game was a bit of a mismatch, so that there's a lot of talk about that. But I thought you saw some of particularly the 3v3. I think it gave a lot of space and structure to the game, and I think the pressure that was exerted, particularly on Leinster's kick-outs, initially in the first quarter was really interesting. I think players throughout the game started to develop it, and even here today, you see Leinster in the first quarter there, how different they were from what they played yesterday. You know, they got a couple of 50-metre frees and they're taking solos and goals, and they're really trying to develop.
A very quick one for you. Some positives last night. Maybe people are saying not a huge amount of physicality. Would you be just saying give it a bit of time and maybe a more competitive environment? For
100%. You need a bigger sample size. You know, it's the first time a lot of people have seen it, and the players have played it and the players have heard about it. So you need to build up a lot more data and base your results and base your decision on that.
Thanks, James. Back to you in commentary, Ger.
Thank you very much, Damien. Interesting views there. So we're ready for the second quarter. And Jim, it's about time Munster got scoring.
Yep, it certainly is. 11 points down now, so I saw John Clare have a good chat with them there. Yeah, they just need to probably tighten up a little bit of defence. The middle third is where they're losing it, and, you know, 2 drops short, 1 drop wide. They need to get more shots off.
It was Leinster who did all of the scoring. John Small getting the only goal in the opening quarter. Kevin Feely got a couple of points. We saw Kieran Byrne get 1 as well. Kieran Kilkenny got a couple, Paddy Small and John, and there was one other one, I think, but that's 1-7 anyway to no score. So Munster go on the attack immediately. Tyke Morley setting it up. Ian Maguire now carrying it on here from St Finbarr's in Cork. Back it comes as far as Dara Cashman. Once again, it is number 20 here, Sean Walsh. Sending it in here, but lots and lots of Leinster bodies there. Haven't really tried to fire one in towards a high target man just yet, Munster, but maybe that will develop. And this is beautifully through the centre by Leinster, carried on there by Sean Bogler, transferred very quickly, clipped forward there by Kieran Downey. Now they work it forward here with John Small and Paddy Small involved. Back out again. They're very much in control of the tempo of this. Ray Connellan. Ray fisting it across. Nobody challenging Kieran Byrne. Able to work it out there as far as Brian Howard. Howard still moving it. Coming in here is Downey. And that one has gone up and it's gone over the crossbar.
That's a great run there by Downey, Kieran Downey from Newtown Blues and Louth. Really intelligent running behind the cover. Again, from Munster perspective, in general play, just a sloppy kick pass turnover there. If that ball goes into the forward line, they need to retain it. So Munster need to do better in retaining the possession.
Well, they're going to have possession here from the sideline. And once again, it's the man who got that point, Kieran Downey, is going to take it. Clipped in there towards Kevin Feely. Strongly built fellow Kevin Feely. Good target man up front. Trying to hold on to it. Getting a bit of support here now from Paddy Small. Solos away from the challenges there. The challenge put in by Jimmy Feehan. And once again, it is Downey. Holding. Back to Kevin Feely once more. Penned into the corner over there, looking around to see what the options are. That's Kilkenny booting it in, but giving it away there to Sean Walsh. And Sean Walsh is able to start the Munster attack here now. So we're some 2 and a bit minutes into the second quarter. No score so far for the team in blue. Cillian Spillane holding and waiting, looking to see what the options are. Playing it back here as far as Colm O'Callaghan. Further back it goes there to Dara Cashman. Moved ahead by Tadhg Morley. Coming into it here is Brian McNamara, midfielder for Clare in this year's Munster final against Kerry. Little throw of the shoulders there by Emmett McMahon, who played in that match, and that's gone away left as well, but the referee, I think, is bringing it back.
Yeah, but I think just looking at their Leinster's defensive structure much more solid. Brian Howard there kind of been a +1. I saw Craig Lennon from Louth coming up there as well. So they've obviously talked about it last night, how exposed they were in the first quarter, and much better defensively by Leinster in this game.
So the clock ticking down the whole time, which is one difference as well. We've seen it in the ladies' football game, of course, now being tried out here. So Cillian Spillane looking to measure it to perfection, and they go for the white flag. And finally, Munster do have themselves a point on the board, and it is scored by Cillian Spillane. Scored. Was that a 2-point score, Jim? Was it outside?
Yes, at the arc, yeah, that's 2 points.
Yeah. Munster will be very gladly taking it. And again, the referee is bringing the ball forward here.
Yeah, and again, we take a solo on goal, which you can.
And that's what he did. And that drops in here, and off the post it comes this time. And out of luck there was Emmett McMahon.
Yeah, that's just, from Emmett's perspective, put the ball down. Cillian Spillane's a good free taker, and you take your 2 points. So something maybe to learn in the review.
Well, it's going to take the players a little bit more time to attune to everything, the possibilities of this game. They're doing well. Kieran Downey in particular for Leinster. Downey casting aside the challenge, but the finish leaving a lot to be desired, and he knows it. A third wide by Leinster.
Again, though, Ger, in the midfield sector, great play there by Kieran Byrne from Louth, tapping the ball down for that possession to be won. So good play again by Leinster.
Well, it took Munster all of 20 minutes to get their first score. And now looking to try and defend here, because that kick out didn't go terribly well. Kilkenny feeding it inside, and there's Ray Kennellan, and Kennellan ready to go again. Thought he might have gone for a goal, but he's happy enough to get himself a point.
Yeah, again, the goalkeeper's there that just didn't get the distance right. That's a kick of probably 40 metres that he needs to make, and good play again by Leinster. They're playing smart today.
So let's see how Munster will do with this next kick out. Everybody's outside the new arc. So he boots it long, way down. Nicely caught there and done well by Colm O'Callaghan. Down it goes towards a teammate of his from the Cork side, Chris Oak-Jones. Spillane turning well. Being marked there in this match by Donald Keoghan. Fed back this time for Munster to Aaron Griffin, another Clare man. Aaron waiting for a support player to come. That support player is Maddie Taylor. Out comes Cillian Spillane again, trying to get away from Keoghan. Inside the scoring zone this time. And easy one for Stephen Cloxton to take. Cluxton, of course, we've often said is a man who's kind of redefined goalkeeping and the goal kickouts that he was so good at. New challenge for him, I guess, in this new game.
It is, yeah, it is. But Stephen's well able to kick the ball long as well, and they've had a good retention off their kickouts. The limited amount that they've had, again, you know, the shot selection there by Munster, you know, there would be, you would think, relatively easy scores that they're not getting tonight.
Well, they dropped a few into the goalkeeper's hands. Matty Taylor now setting up on here with Colin O'Callaghan, and then Ian Maguire back to Matty Taylor again, saying to Ian Maguire, go on, you have a go. Fed inside, bit high and unable to take, and back there to make sure.
Yeah, good run though by Sean Meehan there from Cork inside the cover. So there is space in there, just Munster need to see where it is and exploit it.
As it's moved out of defence once again, this time by John Small. To his left-hand side, another dub. Kieran Kilkenny. Able to move into space here. It's Sean Bugler. They were very disappointed, clearly, with their own performance in last night's match and wanted to make amends and make sure they got something out of these series of games in the Alliance Football Interprovincial Series. Kilkenny again, waiting. Coming forward to take it is Kieran Downey. Downey's remained forward. Bugler comes in. Downey takes it from him. And now it's Kilkenny's turn. Quick look up. Saw three Munster men in front of him. Retained here by Kieran Downey again. They've had a couple of very, very good years. Louth footballers, reaching a couple of Leinster finals. That time it's Kieran Byrne. And Byrne is so important to Louth and their future. He's a terrific footballer.
Terrific footballer, great score by Byrne. You know, Leinster, just their movement off the ball here from this angle, it's very good. And it's something that's paying great dividends for them. Great score.
Well, he's had his injury problems, but it's good to see Kieran Byrne excelling at this 29 years of age now, a man who had a spell in Carlton in the Australian rules football at one stage in his life. That's a foul which the referee has spotted by Leinster, and it's going to be a free kick, which is going to be taken from Munster by Matty Taylor.
Okay, get on.
A little bit of jersey pulling there, you could see it. It was the jersey of Colin O'Callaghan being tested. Brian McNamara looking up at his handiwork, and that's a very, very good one.
Yeah, great score. That's more like it from Munster.
Brian McNamara.
Again, Jared, that arc is encouraging players to take that score on, and everyone loves a long-range score. I think in the current rules, would he have taken that score on? Maybe not. Maybe try to get the ball closer to the goal. So great, well done by Munster.
So two pointers then by Munster players. Killian Spillane from a free, and we also saw Brian McNamara there. Changes coming in, and Darren Gallagher from Longford has just come in. Glory of the goal being 4 points now, you feel you've got a chance even if you are 9 behind just before half-time. Lots of time remaining in the game.
Again, the ball couldn't go back to the goalkeeper there, so well worked up by Leinster. Good support play. They're doing well tonight.
And this is Wexford man Owen Porter carrying it forward. They just wait. That's Kieran Downey setting it up. Darren Gallagher feeding it forward. Paddy Small. Downey again. John Small now just casually playing it into the path here of Owen Porter. Kieran Kilkenny, little fist ahead, carried on by Ray Connellan. An angled pass across here, ambitiously done. Beautiful score by Kevin Feely if he can make it, and he
great
can.
Score, yeah. There was plenty of space in there. It's interesting, Jared, the players, you know, maybe a little bit hesitant at the start to see that space. It's two inside, man on man, and eventually they get into Kevin and a great score.
Well, people have been talking about too much hand passing in the game over the years, and people just hate it when it's done repeatedly, but today we've seen some very good kick passing, and that was a case in point there, that little ball into Kevin Feely.
It was, yeah, and that's what the rules are there to try and encourage. When you have 3 up, in that instance you had 2 guys inside the 20-metre line, man to man. I think teams will exploit that eventually.
Matty Taylor. Here's Ian Maguire looking up and seeing the move inside here by McMahon. Taylor continued, tight angle, possibilities here maybe. Very, very good defending there to deflect that one away, because I think it was number 25, Aaron Griffin, who was ready to come in and pounce for a goal for Munster, but it didn't come. Leinster instead able to break forward once again. Kieran Byrne booting it in. That kick pass inside breaks off the defender and forward, and Leinster now look threatening once again. And Dara called, this is Gallagher this time, and he's put it to the right, he's put it wide.
Yeah, again, though, we can see the benefits having players up the field here, that the kick pass is on. Typically, if that was in the modern game, players that would have been behind the ball as it transitioned up. But because it's 2 players in, ball's kicked in, it breaks back to the Leinster player. Yeah, the ball goes wide, but, you know, that's good play by Leinster.
And that was that very, very good piece of defending back there. A near certain goal prevented by Leinster. Determined to try and keep their goal intact if they can at all. Down to Killian Spillane, this one comes.
So we have an advanced mark here.
And Killian Spillane gets in and puts that one over.
Yeah, Killian's playing very well. Played very well for them last night as well. He was one of the players that stood up for Munster. Great ball inside.
As you say, that was an advanced mark, but he was able to play on this time, take it. In the rule that you have been suggesting, it's no longer necessary just to stop, put your hand up and take whatever free is coming your way. And I think you've explained it in several interviews.
Yeah.
You now can continue, maybe get a goal.
That's right, yeah. Conor didn't put up his hand, Conor Lane, the referee, in that instance, but it would have been an advantage. Killian could have taken the player on, the Leinster player could have tried to go for a goal, and if he didn't, if the advantage wasn't accrued, what would happen there is the ball would go back. But obviously Killian enough confidence on himself to take the point from the position, so well done to him.
Just about 90 seconds remaining in the opening half here at Croke Park. Game 1 today in the Allianz GAA Football Interprovincial Series.
Again, we can see the space inside the D there, Jared. There's plenty of space. Again, the ball is on. They're just not looking inside. They might be trying to run the clock down as well. That's the other side of it, with only 90 seconds to go in this quarter.
They have one full forward, as it were, inside there, inside the 13-metre line, in fact, ready to receive if the ball is kicked towards him. But coming in now, this time it's Paddy Small, and Small is ready to create other major danger for that Munster defence. Hits it high and hits it up and hits it over.
Yeah, that's a great score by Paddy there. Again, lots of space inside because there's only 11 players back. Really well worked by Leinster, and great score by Paddy.
He's a wonderfully impressive player, Paddy Small. You don't know what's going to happen when he's got possession.
Yeah, we've seen that with Paddy over the years. Yeah, great player, and he's doing well for his club in Ballymun as well.
This is fisted back down. That's Colm O'Callaghan going back to collect that. Ready to come out with it is Damien Burke.
So here we have the advantage. There's no 5 seconds anymore, so we can see Conor Lane has his hand up, letting the advantage run. Good play, and you heard them say there, advantage over.
Emmett McMahon hitting. Stephen Cluxton receiving.
Yeah, there's no breeze in Croke Park this evening, so John will be disappointed with that job short again by Munster.
Well, that's John Cleary coming across here. We've reached half-time in this interprovincial series, and Leinster continued to dominate here, but Munster at least have managed to get among the scorers in this second half.
Yeah, the stats probably Munster haven't obviously created as many chances as Leinster, and the ones they have dropped short. They had a chance for a 2-point. The player took a tap and go and hit it wide. Leinster have been the more impressive side, Jared. They've had really good use of the kick pass, and from early on, as I said, I think their movement off the ball, their support play, they could improve though. There's definitely more space inside that Munster full back line than there is in the Leinster full back line, and Desi might be saying that to them at half time. Let's get that ball in, and that's what these rules are trying to promote, that traditional game of kicking the ball into the forward line.
Well, there's the manager, Desi Dolan, and both managers very, very experienced football players and football people. Let's get another perspective now at this stage by going back down to the sideline to Damien Lawler.
Thank you, Ger. Lots going on here down the sideline. I can hear people asking about refereeing decisions. Everybody's looking for clarity. I guess clarity will come, Eamon, as the weeks pass on, but just from what you've seen in the past day or so, are you enthused?
Absolutely, I am, Damien. Look, where I suppose this kind of testing is continuing, we know that the environment is slightly artificial in that, you know, there's a bit at stake, but until it comes down to league points and knockout championship, we won't see the true kind of effect of the enhancements. But straight away tonight you can see progression from last night. Leinster in particular are very impressive tonight. You can see they've really stepped it up since last night, and as players get used to it and as the coaches and managers get used to it, you'd see little tweaks and innovations, positive innovations, I feel. So yeah, no, we are, of course we're happy, yeah.
There's been lots to talk about, and a good few tickets sold after last night's game ahead of today's matches as well, I heard. As a society, we're quick to maybe pick out little faults, and maybe the lack of contest or physicality was mentioned last night. Again, do you have to remind people that this is just part of the process, and there'll be tweaks made along the way, and it'll refine itself as it goes on?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, we're going to make the proposals. It has to go through Special Congress, and you get through Special Congress, it'll be tested during the league and championship then, and it's this time next year, then we'll have a true reflection of it. So we're on the journey, we're on the road, and tonight's a big step in that road.
What have you been most pleased with, Eamon? You've been working on this a long time, but is there anything since the games have actually started that maybe you weren't expecting to see?
Not really. I think the thing that's very clear to everyone is the 3-up structure, the 3-up, 3-back. It's giving you that shape to counter-attack quickly, and it's reducing the amount of bodies in your own half. So that's certainly been effective, and it's been pretty obvious in the game so far.
Eamon, I'm going to ask you to come over closer to me, and I'm going to bring in Michael Murphy, your fellow FRC member as well. Michael, good to see you again. Michael, just chatting about what Eamon has been enthused about so far. As an inside forward yourself, what differences will these tweaks and enhancements make to the modern game?
Yeah, I suppose, I think in general, I suppose the 3-up, and I heard Eamon just speaking about before, it's going to allow, which we're seeing, I think we've even seen it there in that first half there, is just a lot more direct type of kicking. But the other flip side is they have on it too, is I suppose that the defending team can only defend now with 11. And I think what we're finding is those maybe long passages of play that we've become, I suppose, accustomed to over the last number of years, you know, 2.5, maybe 3 minutes of play. We're not getting those as much. We're getting towards the shot or the turnover a lot quicker, and for that purpose I think that's going to be a hell of a lot more exciting. But you know, I think when these inside forwards get a chance, they've probably been starved of the opportunity to actually play as a 3 up front for so many years, and here tonight, you know, over the last 2 days they've been just given that opportunity, and probably over time they'll get better at it, and I think that's going to be good for the game, you know.
Michael was saying to him, in the breathless nature of last night, like, it was end to end, and I'd say if it went on to 70 minutes you were looking at pure exhaustion on both sides. You know, it's not always going to be like that either. But that's not a bad thing, though, is it?
I don't think so. Obviously, listen, I know there's a lot spoke about the condensed nature of the season, the back-to-back games, but you know, if you're a lot tired of the ball, what you'll end up doing is you'll try and let the ball do the work a little bit more too, which I don't think's a bad thing. So you let the ball go that little bit quicker and that a little bit more. But listen, the way that these players have been conditioned over the last number of years, they're able to control defensive games. They're able to get back into position a lot quicker. And I suppose if we can play the game that a little bit quicker without them getting the opportunity to get back quicker, it'll hopefully lead to a more attacking, free-flowing, faster game.
Eamon, aside from the physicality, like the solo and go, the 3 versus 3 were undoubtedly popular. Well, right. Talking about the scoring system, and is there a need for the 4 points and 2? If we look at the scoreboard now, Munster are a little bit behind. If they get 2 2-pointers and a goal, they'll be in front. Is that the glory of this system, that unpredictability, the roller coaster nature of it?
Yeah, and we saw a bit of that in the Munster-Ulster game last night, that when Munster got those goals, it brought them right back into a game that Ulster had been kind of controlling, to be fair to them. So absolutely, look, I think the thing with the 2-point score is it forces the defending team to defend the arc, and they can't just sit back and inside deep and creates a space that Michael was talking about there for the inside players. They're probably not using it yet. There isn't that shape inside close to goals yet, but I think again that's something that will develop in time. But it is absolutely a debating point. We're all still getting used to it, but if Munster got a goal here early in the second half and a 4-pointer and brought it back into a closer contest, I think we'd all be happy.
Murph, people were saying about I suppose a lot of pan passing to see out the game last night, and was it well received or not? There are only so many rule changes that you guys can propose as well. Like, it can't be a universal overwhelming of the game either, I guess.
No, definitely not. And listen, over the course of the process, I can guarantee you we've thought about it, spoke about it, delved. We've played devil's advocate with everything. We've watched games, we've looked at statistics, and we've really delved it down and knuckled it down to what we have here. And I suppose the key part that you always want to say, as much as it's been absolutely brilliant over the last number of weeks in the sandbox games to watch it here in 4 games over 2 days is brilliant. Getting an opportunity to see it, I think, constantly now over the coming months, whatever does get through, will give us more of a chance to debate, to have these conversations that we're having here now right at the minute. And if something is glaringly obviously going wrong, at the end of the National League we can have a look at it. At the end of the year we can have a look at it too. So you're hoping that there is those outs to have a look, but we think we've delved it down enough that they're good at the moment to try and show.
Eamon, does that take, what Michael was saying, does that take away the sting of not having the pre-season competitions in place? I guess that it would be preferable for you guys to have the pre-season competitions in place. At the moment, they are not. But the tweaking process allows you to make changes at certain junctures. And does that maybe help, if it doesn't help players get the actual experience, you can react to it from what you see?
Yeah, 100%. Look, of all seasons, we'd have obviously loved to have seen the pre-season competitions this season, because it'd give teams a chance to try them out, explore them, investigate them in a competitive environment and be ready at the start of the National League. And I imagine even from the Provincial Council point of view, they'd love to have it, because there'd be huge interest and there'd be sales and so on and so forth. So let's see, maybe that's something that's been discussed at the top levels. We'll have to wait and see. That's above my pay grade, Damien.
Yeah, it's above all our pay grades. That pot could be boiling away as we speak. Just from the reaction last night from people then, what have people been saying to you, Michael? And I guess, does it matter in a way, because for all the research and all the data and feedback, 7,000 public responses, another 5,000 in emails and text messages, does that really provide the foundation for the core enhancements? Or how important is the reaction to the games from the public last night?
It's totally vital, without a doubt. That's, at the end of the day, it's not myself or Eamon's rules here. It's for the people, it's for the general viewers, it's for the players out here that are playing this evening. It's for the players that played last night, and it's for the people at home. We want a better game for viewers to watch. We want a better game for players to play. That's obviously it. So again, it's not down to ourselves. So of course it hugely matters. I keep coming back to the way I answered probably the last question on that one. We will get to see this more and more. The debate we've had since yesterday evening, last night, the people even this morning coming back in here, what we're having here now, I think that's going to even be healthy over the coming months, whatever does come in, and hopefully by the back end of the National League and towards the back end of this year's championship, we'll have, I suppose, debated them out even more so and made really, really strong ones that are here to stay for a better game of Gaelic football.
Final word to you, debate is healthy no matter what way you dress it up.
100%, and sure, that's the way it's been the whole way through, from ourselves in the committee to people that we meet in the street, to all the submissions and everything else. And we're open to being challenged the whole time, because all we want, as Michael said, is a bunch of enhancements that are good for the game and good for everyone that's playing and watching it.
Eamon, Michael, thanks so much for your time. Back to you, Ger and Jim in the commentary box up in level 7.
Thank you very much indeed, Damien. Lots and lots of interesting comments there, Jim. Well, you're the chairman. You've been responsible for guiding everybody. You've had a wonderful committee as well. You had 7 enhancements that you were telling us about, and they were the keys going into this weekend and how they were going to work. How do you think they have worked from today's match so far?
Yeah, they're all working well, Ger. From the kickouts, that the ball can't go back, that the ball has to go past the 40-metre mark. We see more one-to-one contests. The ball can't go back to the goalkeeper anymore. So players have to straighten up and kick past. And Munster kind of got into that second quarter. McNamara from Croke got a score, and so did Killian Spillane. So the three structure, we can see straight away that players are beginning to try and look for that pass. And as we said in the second quarter, there was plenty of space inside. I think the guys identified on the sideline. Leinster didn't really use it to that much effect, and the odd time and when they did, they got scores from it. So I'm sure then they're saying, lads, lift your head, look up the pitch, get the ball inside. But from what we've seen in our sandbox games, we're seeing here tonight, and it's a good game of football. 1-12 to 6 points. Once you get a goal, and they're back in it. No wides in that quarter, so they have a lot to work on. But as a general game of football, it mightn't have the intensity of league or championship. That's probably to be expected. But in terms of a proof of concept, I believe it's working.
We're seeing a lot more kicking in the game, which is what an awful lot of people wanted to see anyway. We've seen some terrific passes forward, in particular by Leinster. We've also seen Munster, of course, hit the ball short into Cluxton's hands several times, rather infuriatingly, unfortunately, from a Munster point of view. Yeah, it certainly was, and that's not to do with the rules, Ger. That's just bad shot selection. But what we saw in last night's games was there's been a huge increase in the amount of kick pass, and particularly the length of the kick pass. So typically in the championship and in the league this year, the amount of kick passing, there was quite a number of kick passing, but the distance and a lot of kick passes went backwards. I think at least 80 to 90% of kick passes tonight are going in the forward direction. I think that's what people want to see. And yet, teams still have the opportunity to have a compact defence and to challenge the offensive team to create scores. It's not like they're not gimme scores every time you go up to the field of play. I know of one of the players who took part in one of your sandbox games. He was a corner forward, and he was saying afterwards, it was absolutely brilliant because I was no longer expected to go running all the way back down here to pick up somebody, and if I didn't do so, I was going to get wrapped over the knuckles by my coach. Instead, I could concentrate on doing what I do best, which is get into scoring positions and try to score. Yeah,
that's one way of looking at it, and you can see that teams might rotate and rotate their players, but in terms of that sprinting ability, I think we can see the fast corner forwards, the fast corner backs conserving energy, so when the ball comes up they can really go fast at that ball.
Well, the 10-minute half-time break is virtually over now, so as you can see, Leinster are back out here ready to go again. Within the new formation, as it were, the new shape of the game going into 2025, could you see teams, for instance, trying to work on this idea of having 3 inside forwards on a more permanent basis, one of them being a big, tall, kind of Owen Liston type figure that you could bomb that ball in pretty high and he might cause all kinds of mayhem?
There's that option. I think what we might see is that we have maybe 4 players up, and what that allows then is that one player can have the confidence to cross that halfway line if they ever need to do so. I think that is one option, yeah. I think the other option is you have that small nippy corner forward like a Peter Cavan inside, where the ball, if he does get the ball in that 20-metre line, they'll be very dangerous if they get that ball. A bit like what McCurry last night when that 1-1.
Yeah, there are so many players who unfortunately weren't able to be part of this wonderful Alliance GAA football Interprovincial series because, of course, they're heavily involved in their own club programs just yet. But I think we're indebted in a way to all the players who made themselves available and agreed to take part because they are doing a great service for all of us.
They are indeed, yeah. I think the engagement with the players through the GPA, with the managers, to have the likes of John Cleary here and Desi Dolan and Porrick and Kieran Donnelly looking after the teams. That commitment, obviously the advantage, I think, Jerry, is that they're going to get a good insight into what the rules are. But for the players to commit time yesterday, some of them took time off work to get up to Dublin yesterday evening. They've got a day off today, so we are very much indebted to them, and so should the GAA and the viewing public.
Well, we just got a shot there of GAA President Oakthron, Jarlath Burns, and really when Jarlath came in as president, he was open-minded to change, and he'd been hearing from everybody who's so keen in football that it needs just maybe a little bit of improving here and there to make it a more exciting, more thrilling game, which we all want to be watching.
Yeah, I mean, the rules have always evolved, and it's one thing that that we took away from our research, and we got some great information from Dr. Paul Rouse, and from the very first rules that were published by Davin, that we have named a stand after him back in November 1885, when we used soccer goals, when you could throw the ball in soccer style from the sideline. You couldn't kick the ball, Jerry. You could tackle a player off the ball and wrestle him to the ground. And that's what the games have evolved over time, from Eugene McGee's committee 10 years ago to to Tony O'Hanlon in the 1990s, to the McNamee report even in the 1970s, and each of those stages people were saying, the game is in crisis. So the rules do evolve, and we hope that these rules speak to the tradition of the game, at the same time getting the balance between modern innovation.
Well, these players are enjoying it right now. It's taken a little while for each and every one of them, understandably so, to just attune to what's involved, what you can do, what you can't do, what you're not expected to do or might be expected to do. And they are doing their level best to entertain the crowd here at Croke Park here this evening. That's John Cleary, I think, going across there. Cian O'Neill, one of his selectors. Indeed, all of the 4 teams involved here over this couple of days, the management teams involved, high-powered people, just like the committee that Jim has been chairing, all people of great ability, great dedication, great commitment to the game. And there's Desi Dolan, who was up to recently Westmeath manager, of course, and more than happy to be looking after the affairs of Leinster football here in this 2 series. So we're nearly ready to go. The officials are ready to make their way across, not exactly sprinting off the field, but once they're gone, the referee, who is Conor Lane, will throw it in. The 2 linesmen tonight, by the way, Derek O'Mahony and Fergal Kelly, and Sean Hurst, an All-Ireland final referee, he's the sideline official. So Conor from Bantier Lyre in West Cork, ready to...
Yeah, what we might see is if Conor used the hand signal. There he is. Does he use it? No. So he should wave his hand, which means the clock is on.
So the clock is on, and Leinster are on straight away, and Ciarán Kilkenny setting up a possible opportunity here now for Daniel Flynn. Haven't seen him so far in the game. He's only been on a few seconds, and my goodness, he makes that count.
And that's exactly what the 1v1 tropes brings there, is that there's an attack immediately straight onto the game.
Very impressive player Daniel Flynn has been. Johnstown Bridge, of course, in Kildare, his club, and that's a poor kick out, and straight away it's punished by Paddy Small, or should have been. Ball goes wide instead. I think that's wide number 5. 113 to 6 points. Munster changed their goalkeepers, and as you can see now it is Chris Kelly from Éire Óg in Ovens in Cork, who's after taking over from Josh Ryan. Lots and lots of players will be involved. Panels of about 30 players. Munster have some 31 names down there. On they go again, and this time it is Ronan Wallace feeding it inside here for Paddy Small. Small's got a goal chance, happy to take a point instead, making a bright start.
And again, that came from a fantastic field there by Daniel Flynn in midfield, and just shows how critical now in the future, if these rules pass, these midfield battles that people want to see, these midfield contests.
Well, hard to fathom, but last night against Connacht, Leinster were out of sorts. Right now they are flying, and it might get even better. It could very well do so, and that could be... Woo! Should have been rolled in by Sean Bugler after he was set up there by Evan O'Carroll. He knows it.
Yeah, so that's nothing to do with the rules, Jared. That's just, unfortunately for the goalkeeper, just a poor kick out, and well done by Leinster. John kept alone hard into the corner, as you can see here, just zipped wide, but good play again by Leinster.
So another kick out coming up, and it's Chris Kelly to take. Broken down well, very good play there to break that by Darren Gallagher, the Longford player. Ball handled on the ground there by Kieran Byrne, free to Munster.
Yeah,
and,
so
now it's a 50-metre penalty.
Any attempt to delay the play, the ball's below 50 metres, so the player has to clear in that instance. Just kept his feet on the ball, and straight away now we have Munster have an opportunity for 2 points.
That's your finish, Killian, okay?
Well, that's what happened there. This is what's happening at the other end. It's going to be once again number 26, Killian Spillane from Templenoe in Kerry.
And good to hear Conor Lane there talking to Killian, just watch the mark. So that's really good communication there by the referee.
This is the little chalk mark or foam that you put on the
Vanishing
ground.
foam, that's
Vanishing
it, yeah.
Foam.
Vanishing foam.
And he didn't exceed that mark. He made sure, and he kicked it splendidly.
And that's what it does, Jared. Forces those players to respect where the foul was committed, and a great scoring yet again by Killian. He's playing very well tonight.
So that's a couple of points now. A 2-pointer there for Killian Spillane. So he's on 6 points for the game so far. Munster's main forward. Right now they're under pressure once again. And taking this one back once more, it's Daniel Flynn who's already scored. And that's Evan O'Carroll coming across, playing it back out as far as Paddy Small. And they can start from outside the 45-metre line with Bogler involved. We missed that goal opportunity a little while ago. Evan O'Carroll threading it in beautifully. A little throw there. And eventually one back. Guy Morley getting it away.
Can the kick passes on if you look inside? No.
Yeah, they're creatures of habit, I suppose. They're still hand passing it forward when, as you said, they could have kicked it forward, but they're moving it out now. Tommy Walsh played centre-half back last night, giving this ball and kicked nicely by Emmett McMahon. And Emmett gets himself a wide flag for Munster.
Yeah, good score again there by Munster. Kick pass was on inside, but well worked by them, and a great score there by Emmett from Clare.
So 9 between them, and again that kick out has caused problems, and Munster are coming once more. Chris Oak-Jones this time into the corner. It's exactly what the game's required, and it is Chris Oak-Jones from Evalera who gets the first goal for Munster.
Yeah, it just shows the importance of kickouts. If these rules pass, you've got to retain your own kickouts, and great score by Munster.
So now it's back to a 5-point difference.
That's it.
So now it looks much more manageable from a Munster point of view. Leinster winning it in midfield. Once again nicely taken here by Daniel Flynn. One back again by Munster, showing greater resolve at this stage. They may have started the second half poorly, but they're coming into it. Colin O'Callaghan, that's a great ball. And once again it's Joe. And that one's been kicked wide.
Yeah,
but, as you say, it was an advance mark.
It was indeed, yeah. So great ball into Chris Oak-Jones. And so he took the option of continuing.
And it was an advantage. If we can bring it back.
And we can hear Conor saying, there's no advantage if we can bring it back. And it's from the position where the mark was taken.
And that is the beauty of this amendment to the rule here. He didn't have to put his hand up and just go for a point. He could continue, he could try and get a goal. If that didn't work out, he's got a second opportunity, and he doesn't have to take it himself.
Yeah, we'd expect Killian Spillane to score this one. And great ball inside by Colin O'Callaghan from Cork for the mark.
So that's 7 points now scored by Killian O'Callaghan, including, or not Killian, Killian Spillane rather, including a couple of 2-pointers.
Yeah, 18-14, so there's a goal in it.
Much closer game all of a sudden. Stephen Cloxton looks like he's going to play the full 60 minutes of this match. Munster have it back yet again. Storming into the game a good deal more now at this stage, and the ball played out here as far as Chris Oak-Jones again on his left.
Great score, yeah.
And that is another beauty.
And again, emphasising what this new rule, the kick-out rule, brings more one-to-one contests in the midfield area. Munster won it cleverly, and great ball in, and great score again by Emmett. 1:14 to 1:11, as you can see, and the clock counting down towards the middle of the third quarter. Great recovery by Munster. Leinster need to dust themselves down and get going again. And they compete and contest for that kick-out, and they've won it, Munster. Brian McNamara kicked ahead beautifully, nicely into the corner here as far as Dara Brennan. And that, in the end, is Spillane who kicks it off his right and gets another one. 8 points for him. Great kick pass inside again, great use of the ball. And great reverse pass to Killian, and Killian's out with his right foot. He's on fire these last 2 games. Well to him. Good pass back to him by Dara Brennan there. I've been playing some of his football with Mary I from Ballyporeen in County Tipperary.
Leinster ball, that's okay. Leinster ball, thank you.
That's a Leinster ball.
Okay, game on.
Clock goes back on again as this one is taken. John Small kicking it in. Carried on here by Kieran Byrne. Daniel Flynn. Again, the space inside this player, the inside line is not moving into it. Well, they're moving in, and this is Kieran Kilkenny looking up, but decided to go laterally. Link up with John Small. Taken on well here by Ronan Wallace, cutting through. Back out once again towards Kieran Byrne. Looking to try and steady himself and push forward, maybe with a shot. Brian Howard stepping inside the key, and back out it comes again, and that one is finished off there by Kevin Feely.
Yeah, great score. Came from a bit of penetrating one by Brown Howard. Little 1-2 inside as we see here, and then a reverse pass. Great score by Leinster.
1-5 for Munster, scored in the last 5 minutes or so. That's Kevin Feely's 4th point for Leinster. So pushing the lead back out to 3 once again. Booted right down through the centre, grabbed well there by Paul Walsh. Playing it off here as far as Colm O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan going forward, he's a strongly built lad. Ian Maguire pushed up and over by Stephen Cluxton.
Yeah, so 3 passes we have from the kick out to the midfield catch to the kick forward, and then just a great score again.
Well, that was a super build-up, a rasping shot there, and look at the athleticism of Stephen Cluxton at the end.
Great save by Stephen.
Yeah. Save. Under pressure again, however. Chris Oak-Jones once again trying to cut back inside, get in past the Leinster player there, who is Donald Keoghan. It's one back. Good play by Brian Howard. Holding on to it is Kieran Byrne. Fed down, fisted back in by Daniel Flynn. They move it ahead here with Kilkenny involved. Looking for the run, and seeing the run there of Kevin Feely. Having a very good, effective match. Kilkenny back again. Evan O'Carroll now trying to cut inside, looking for a support player. That's Kevin Feely once again. Dogged defending back in there. And Tyke Morley leading that defence. But it's run here, and there's an opportunity, and a really good opportunity, and that's put over the crossbar by Darren Gallagher.
Yeah, Darren Gallagher from Longford, but good defending by Munster. This ball popped out, lucky for Leinster there, but good score.
Darren Gallagher from the St Mary's Club in Granard in County Longford. Kick out effectively away by Munster.
We can see off screen there that Munster have 4 players up in a kind of a box formation, so let's see if Munster use the kick pass.
Moving it out here is Alan Sweeney. Ian Maguire taking it from him. Sweeney going in support. Also there is Tommy Walsh. A measured ball forward then by Paul Walsh. Taken back out Leinster once again. Booted forward there by Donald Keoghan. Controlling it inside is Evan O'Carroll.
Yeah, it's been a good focus by the referees on the 4 steps. So as we know, you can only take 4 steps to the ball, and over the last 2 days has been good refereeing in that respect.
Killian Spillane turning, twisting, kicking, and he lands another one. He's having a really good game. 9 points, I make it now in all, scored by Killian Spillane. 2 points between them again.
Yeah, he's one of the best players on display tonight. Great score.
Advantage.
Again, what we can see is Leinster just have 1 player really high. The other 2 players staying outside the 45-metre line.
The tackling piece on. Pardon?
So a build-up from a deep position by Leinster once again.
Yeah.
Carrying it out here is Owen Porter. Taking it up here, carrying it forward is Kieran Kilkenny. Switched across over towards Ronan Wallace. Kieran Byrne had a quick look up, decided to go backwards. Back to Brian Howard. Gallagher feeding it inside, in there as far as Daniel Flynn. Such great pace. Flynn losing it, however, dispossessed brilliantly. And that's really good work there. Queebeen Walsh taking it out, getting his opportunity, the number 8 there from Waterford.
Yeah, great tackle by Queebeen Walsh from Waterford there. So it's great to see that one-to-one defending still in the game.
Well, it's a series that's giving players from right around the country to be involved in these couple of matches last night and again today. Lots of good football, lots of great players down there doing their stuff. Paddy Small setting up this next one involving his brother John. Soloing forward here, Bugler helped out, Kilkenny available. Then the final effort has got to be short and doesn't cause any problems for Chris Kelly. And that's away by Tyke Morley immediately, out towards Ian Maguire. There'll be opponents, I'm sure, at some stage next year in League or Championship. Well, Championship anyway. Controlled there, 45 metres out by Munster. Chris Oak-Jones to his right. Killian Spillane taking it a certain distance and then looking out to find Jones again. They have a very good understanding. 2 very good players. A nice run forward made by Brian McNamara, back towards Jones again. looking to try and squeeze it even more. He's put it wide. It's a third wide by Munster. Should have been a 1 point difference, and John Cleary knows it over there with the management team.
Yeah, but well done to Chris Oak-Jones, taking on. That's what people want to see, those one-to-one contests. And again, good kick out by Stephen there into the corner to retain possession.
Out it comes here, collected by Ronan Wallace. Got it outside the 40-metre arc from the kick-out, which is the object of the exercise, and now able to move it forward here. Donald Keoghan once again. And has given such wonderful service to Meath football over the years.
So we're approaching 60 seconds to go in this quarter, and it'll be interesting to see if the Leinster players know that and try and get the kick off within the time allowed.
Keoghan has it. Kilkenny now back once again, turned back by John Small. As Jim Gavin says, now inside the last 50 seconds, Leinster will be aware of it if they look up at the clock on the scoreboard, which is behind the goal. Out it comes to Ronan Wallace there, holding on to a 2-point lead. Munster have had the better of things in this third quarter. It's still anybody's match. Another 15 minutes still to go at the end of this third quarter, and that's a very good dispossession there by Caoimhín Walsh for the second time, but he couldn't quite keep it in play.
Well done to Caoimhín though, great tackle, really clean tackle. So here we have the referee Connor crossing his arms over his head, telling the stop clock official to stop the clock for the substitution with 16 seconds to run.
Yeah, just hold it, please. Hold it, please.
Well, rolling substitutions virtually, Jim. This is Craig Lennon coming in. He started last night.
Clock on.
Great to be able to hear the referees. They were tremendous last night, I thought. It's great today as well.
Yeah. So now Munster need to get this ball up within 14 seconds for a shot.
They have the opportunity. Killian Spillane feeding it forward here. Dropped there, but recovered by Emmett McMahon. Booted ahead. This is the opportunity, and it bounces harmlessly out over the end line. And there is the hooter at the end of the third quarter. So at the end of that third quarter, Killian Spillane has certainly played his part. There's no doubt about that. A couple of 2-pointers, some fine scores as well. The energetic Kieran Kilkenny doing his stop for Leinster. We've seen Emmett McMahon get among the scores as well. But at three-quarters time, it's only a 2-point game. It's Leinster 116, Munster 114. And I've certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's great to see. You know, at half-time there was 10 points in it, 112 to 6 points. Munster, we said they needed a goal. They've got that goal. They've brought the game back. You know, it took Munster in the game 20 minutes to score, Chair, but they've done really well. And you know, there's some great play there, some great defensive play by Munster, and some great offensive play. Killian Spillane is having a fine game for Munster.
I think we can go to the sideline and get some more comment at this stage. Jim, let's go back to Damien.
Thanks so much, Jim and Gerard. Philly Ryan, the Tipperary football manager, Munster coach, is with me. Philly, where did this comeback come out of then? What did you change with these new rules and your approach to it?
Well, look, we weren't at the races in the first half, so we came out to try and win the last two quarters. Just to change of tactic, trying to move the ball in a bit quicker and get the inside forwards moving a bit livelier. Very happy with that quarter. We just have to keep going again though in the last one. You know, we're well in the hunt. We're after bringing ourselves back into it from
before I let you go, Philly, would it be fair to say that all teams have knuckled down even more from last night games with the format and structures that are there?
Well, definitely Leinster have picked up. We were happy with our performance against Ulster last night, but Leinster have picked up the pace definitely.
Go back to your team. Go back to best of luck with Tipperary as well. Malachy, I'll bring you in. Malachy O'Rourke is with me as well from the FRC. Malachy, I suppose just your thoughts. We've seen a couple of quarters here tonight. Everything we see, I suppose, teams seem to be fastening down and getting more used to what's happening. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, Damien. I think teams will adapt. You know, probably a lot of the players, it's only their second time to play a game like this here. So you do see even these subtle changes there tonight as well, you know, and I think there's more short kickouts there. But the things that I suppose we wanted to maybe change the game, a lot of that slow possession-based game, the goalkeeper, I think in the whole of the first half, neither goalkeeper had any possession of the ball. So that one where the ball was coming out and recycled the goalkeeper and able to keep possession, that has definitely gone. And it means that the game is a lot faster. The ball can be transferred up the field quicker, which is what we want to see.
And Malachy, you see players like Casey Byrne absolutely flourishing out there. That athletic, mobile middle third player, it's made for somebody like him as well. But not only can he take long range scores, he can deliver the ball in quickly also.
Yeah, that's very, very important. And you do see there's a structure there, even in slow attacks, whereas before when we were seeing there was a slow attack, everybody was back and there was nobody up the field, there was no attackers left on the field. The way it is at the minute, you know, you can have your defenders back, but you always have to keep three up. So there is always that outlet. So when you break out defence, there's always that outlet to kick the ball long or to run it, whatever else. So it does keep a better structure to it, and it means that the ball is transferred quicker up the field.
And Malachy, last question, there is more intensity in the tackle as well tonight than there was last night. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that will come as well. You know, I think again it was a wee bit open at times last night, but I think when teams get more used to it, don't worry, the intensity will come.
Malachy, we'll go back up to your boss Jim and Gerard Canning there as well. Back to you, lads.
Well, it's Jim, not me. Anyway, ready for the fourth quarter rather, and it'll be Conor Lane throwing the ball in between Darren Gallagher of Leinster, and there on the right hand side Paul Walsh of Munster.
Yeah, I thought really interesting the comment there from Philly Ryan, the Tipperary manager, that they asked the players to move the ball up a little bit quicker, and that's what we saw. They dominated that quarter, so well done to Munster.
Leinster looking to try and make a positive start now to the fourth, and here they come with Sean Bugler right through the centre, a little fumble, managed to keep it alive however. Feely looking to find somebody there in a green shirt, and it's Ronan Wallace, and Wallace has put it wide. 7 wides now by Leinster. I'm reminded that there is no Hawkeye here tonight, in case anybody is disputing that one. I don't think Ronan was disputing it. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, Martin Stokes there from Tipperary, great win. So it's important that Munster retained their kickouts in this last quarter.
Danny Neville was involved there, pushed back by Mark Stokes. That is Paul Walsh. Up into the sky it goes, but away to the left it goes as well. So he's missed the opportunity.
And again, that's what that 2-point arc. So we can see here that Conor has crossed his hands over his head. The clock has stopped, and one of the players down looks like it's Evan O'Carroll from.
He did. Came down awkwardly, most definitely. We don't want to see this. Desi Dolan will be having to make another change, but it's Evan O'Carroll who just was jumping for that. There wasn't any foul involved. He was just jumping with an opponent. Came down awkwardly, and hopefully he will be fine. He's been a tremendous player over the years, Evan O'Carroll.
Yeah, and Evans had a fine game today for Leinster, and it's you know, with 14 minutes to go in this quarter, Jared, it's nice he's really set up for us, and with these new rules proposals, see which teams can make the most of it.
One of the changes, I suppose, today that we're watching so far is, it's say in the matches last night, some of the goalkeepers were coming out past the halfway line, getting involved. Niall Morgan was one. You have the Connacht goalkeeper as well. I think Conor Carroll did it. The goalkeepers we're seeing today, they tend to be keepers who want to fundamentally be goalkeepers.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Well, the thing I'd say on that is this is nothing new. Like we've seen in the All-Ireland final this year, where both goalkeepers, supported the attack. So some teams use it and some teams don't. But I think in the next game that we'll see between Connacht and Ulster, you're definitely going to see Niall Morgan using that.
A question about the retaining the 3 defenders within your own half at all times. That's going to demand communication, isn't it? I mean, let's go back to the All-Ireland that you referenced just a moment ago there. Aaron McKay wore number 3 on his back. Chances are he would have been one of the 3 designated players to stay in his own half.
And I'm sure, I was up
and he was the goal scorer. Yeah,
I was up in Inniskeane where we had the development squad from Armagh played a Dublin squad, and talking to Kieran about that, Kieran McGeaney, and there's no doubt that now teams will use that. And in some ways, for the fullbacks can still attack. As you say, communication, a player will retreat back into the halfway line to let that player go. So you're definitely going to see that in the game.
With your Dublin team, somebody like Johnny Cooper making the calls from the back in case anybody was moving out, to make sure there was always somebody back.
Exactly.
Well, thankfully, Evan O'Carroll is able to walk off. I think it was an ankle injury. We saw...
good to see Morgan again. Yeah, that's good, yeah.
I think it's just an ankle injury. Hopefully it is nothing too serious. I see him hobbling up onto his seat, and he's doing so unaided.
They'll all be relieved and credit yard down a leash.
Yep. And they played here in the Taunton Cup final this year. That's retained here by Leinster. Pushed ahead there by Larry Gallagher. Then on it goes towards Craig Lennon. Leinster now prepared to play it around here, try and build it up, hold possession. They have got their three forwards inside waiting if the ball comes into them, and that's a very good piece of dispossessing by Munster. Really good play. That was Paul Walsh,
from Cork, great play.
Kicked ahead by his fellow Cork man Chris O'Jones. A little push in the back this time, and the player doing the fouling was Donald Kilgan.
So Connor again coming over. Connor's going to use the vanishing foam, and I'm sure Killian Spillane, who's in fine form, will fancy his chances here.
It's also been called shaving spray by certain people, but vanishing foam it is. And it is a little new rule, but it's a very important one.
It is, yeah. I think Liverpool plays ball, but a kick from the hand to a little hop, skip and a jump, and players were taking an extra maybe a metre or two. Now it's very defined where they have to kick it from.
Killing, we'll just get to go ahead. We get that sub on. Yeah, 23 green. Yeah, the clock is off.
Great communication again there by Connor.
Yep. Okay, clock is off. We're waiting for a Leinster substitute to come in.
Yeah, and what we can see here is during the substitution, Jared, typically teams might in the last 50 minutes again trying to run the clock down, bring subs in. The advantage of the clock being stopped is that, there's no disadvantage to the team that are behind.
Perfect.
And when it starts again, it'll be Killian Spillane. About 45 metres out. Curling in, will it get there? It's gone to the left. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, a little bit of breeze has picked up in the last maybe 15 minutes coming in from the west, so just to hold that ball.
Well, we've been blessed today with a wonderful, beautiful day here in Dublin. It was nice where you are. We're hearing all about the storm on its way. And here is a change now being made, and so Stephen Cluxton goes off, and it'll be Killian Roach coming in. And Killian, of course, is from Clare in County Clare, transferred to Gleishan, played here for Laois. And a big round of applause for Stephen Cluxton. Great to see the great man here involved in this series, as enthusiastic as ever.
Clock on.
So it'll be Killian Roach kicking it out, and a little bit too far there for Ronan Wallace to be able to hold on to. So the pressure is back on. Still those 2 points between them. Munster haven't been able to do an awful lot in the opening 2.5 minutes of the fourth quarter, but they might do now. It's Sean Walsh setting one up and ready to take it back again. Keep it away there from Kieran Byrne onto his left. Great block down. Fabulous piece of defending that time. And out come Leinster. Wallace trying to get that ball away. It was a block by Mikey Bambrick, I think, from Carlo. Superb defending. Holding onto it here is Brian Howard, the Raheny man, just up the road from here. Kieran Kilkenny pushing it outside to John Small, and Small just holding on now. Leinster anxious to win the shield that is going to the winners of this game. And we'll be asking you to be thinking about your possible man of the match as well as this fourth quarter develops. On it goes. Dean Healy has come on here from Wicklow. Retained. Once again it is Kevin Feely. He has scored some super points in this match. Nicely back in. Craig Lennon again. Craig Lennon stopped.
He's okay.
Straight at the goalkeeper, but Chris Kelly did well. And Munster were able to get that ball away now. Big let off that time. Should have been a goal, really, when you think about it, Craig Lennon.
Yeah, some great individual skill there by Craig Lennon to get inside.
Well, Craig plays a lot of his football as a defender, but he's up there in the forwards right now.
Shoulders to the back. Okay,
yeah,
please.
Did everything right, but great save.
Yeah, John, have control, okay? Relax, I have it under control.
Coming here, it's John Small who's at the receiving end.
Yellow card there, 28 green, yellow card, okay?
That's the only yellow card the referee has issued in the match so far.
And again, Conor there stopped the clock. his injury as well, but stopped the clock. So there's, again, if teams try to run the clock down in the latter starts of any of the game, the team who have the ball aren't penalised.
Well, he gets a yellow card to go with the goal that he got in the opening quarter. Coming in, Tommy Walsh.
Oh, the clock is still off. Clock is still off, okay? Wait for 31
Free
blue
going to be
to leave the
taken
field.
in just a moment now by Matty Taylor. And that's Ian Maguire on his way.
Clock on.
So the solo and go from Matty Taylor. Off he goes. Something that's in several other sports as well. Rugby leagues and hockey also, and it should be coming into Gaelic football, and I think will be very, very effective, and people, I think, will take to it. That was Danny Neville there, and the Limerick man helping this attack.
So a 2-pointer here will draw the game up for them.
Out it comes once again. Pushed inside by Sean Welsh, twisting and turning. Again, it is Tommy Walsh there who's coming under a lot of pressure, an awful lot of pressure.
Yeah, so a free kick now to Munster. This will be interesting. Killian again might give it more to the right hand post to bring it back in, but good play by Munster.
Here we are, Brian. Thank you. The 30 metres to stand, okay? No waving the arms.
This now 2-point shot, so this will tie the game up.
Well, we saw him do it earlier in the match.
30, seal,
and we saw him do it last night as well. Down at that goal there. 116 to 114. Following through nicely, should make it, but he doesn't quite. He underhits it, and it's taken away by Killian Roach. And Leinster get a let off, just as Munster had a let off with the save earlier on there by Chris Kelly. So still to be determined, with about 9 minutes still to go here in this opening match of the Alliance Football, GAA Football, all Interprovincial Series. Don't forget, another big match coming up at 7:30 on RTE2 TV. As for Ulster will be playing Connacht. Right now, coming in here is Craig Lennon. Missed an opportunity earlier on. They've had another chance there. Leinster still have it. Looking to try and provide a bit of finish, but there are too many Munster bodies back there, and Dermot Ryan was one of them. Got that ball away.
Dermot Ryan from the Iron War for a great defensive play.
Moved out, and once again it is Killian Spillane. His name has been mentioned so many times. Chris Oak-Jones. Back it comes once again to Spillane. Holding, waiting, turn back.
Yeah, there's plenty of space on the far side if they can look up.
Dermot Ryan has it again.
Here we go.
So on it goes once again. Inside towards Killian Spillane. He must be a candidate for man of the match, I would imagine. He's been involved so prominently. Chris Oak-Jones here. That's up and over the crossbar. Yeah. He could be involved in the conversation as well.
Yeah, Chris Oak-Jones has a great game today. Again, well worked by Munster. 1 point in it, but just under 8 minutes to go. So looking for a good finish.
116 to 115. It's the closest of the matches that we've had in the series so far. Hoping the fourth game will be every bit as close.
Yeah, Munster have an interesting tactic. They're playing with only one player up in the full forward line. The two other players remain on the 45.
That's Bugler. Nicely over. Kilkenny can finish. And that one is way to the right. And missed chance again.
And that was one of the three that they had up. So worked it well.
Clock off, substitution.
Substitution, clock's off. Clock frozen at 7 minutes and 13 seconds still remaining. So Kieran Kilkenny has gone. And I think it's Kevin Quinn who's come on from Wicklow. Kevin, who got the opening 2-pointer in the match last night for Leinster. They didn't get an awful lot of joy in that opening half, didn't get much joy in the match overall, but he was one of the players who certainly stood up. And coming in here now is Emmett McMahon as well, a Munster substitution. Clock is back on, game gets going. We're into the last 7 minutes.
Again, this shows it the importance of retaining the kick out, and Munster have a chance to build now.
Tyke Morley. Well, we've gone some 10 minutes now without a score here.
Advantage.
So again, no longer a 5-second advantage. It's really at the discretion of the referee. Well played by Connor. And they'll have another 2-point opportunity here to go ahead in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, before that, Chris Jones point,
Lock
they'd
off,
gone
please.
10 minutes
Lock
without
off.
scoring, just to
Take
get
your
the
time, the clock is off.
facts right.
Take your time, the clock is off then. Okay, that's the mark now on my lines, man. I don't have it, it's not the falling, sorry, apologies.
Danny Neville there
Okay,
injured.
clock on.
Clock back on. Good communication. It's great to hear. Let's hope it does come in, because
Yeah,
I think
we're hoping it will for National League and the Championship, yeah.
I think it'll make an enormous difference. Emmett McMahon is going to hit this, as he did for Clare so many times. Drops short again, and once again the goalkeeper's involved. They've had their chances, but there's still 1 point between them, and now Leinster have this opportunity of bringing it downfield and adding to their own advantage. Sean Bugler, 6 to go. Across towards Kieran Byrne. Takes evasive action from the challenge there. The man challenging him was Sean Meehan. Sean Bugler. Meehan comes in to try and get to him. Bugler goes by. Nicely forward. This is Mark Barry, and Mark Barry slings the left boot to it and puts it over the bar. Hasn't seen much action, the Laois man, in this game, but the Talton Cup winner, or rather finalist, gets a point here. It puts 2 between them.
Yeah, great score by Mark Barry from Dempsey's and Laois. He was involved in some of the sandbox games a good few months back, and great score. You could see again from that shot there was space in behind the coverage here, so well done by Leinster.
Danny Neville limping off there at the end of all of that, and the player who came on to replace him is Owen Cleary. Kick to space here. Moving forward is Mark Stokes. Collected well there by James Nocton. Needs support. Back it comes to Stokes again, the tip man. Back out to the wings here. Looking to try and keep this attack going. Tommy Walsh. Here's Killian Spillane. Always wants to be involved, always calling for the ball, making himself available. Mark Stokes. Moved out there by Dermot Ryan.
So we're inside the last 5 minutes. There's 2 points in it. There's only 11 v 11 now, because the Munster goalkeeper isn't assisting the attack. So still a little bit more space for players, Ger, in this game.
Please.
It's Munster now trying to finish this attack with a score if they can at all. Who's going to take the responsibility? Killian Spillane, number 26 down there, doing his stuff. Inside towards Tommy Walsh. But it comes back out again. Collected by Colm O'Callaghan. Retained here by Killian Spillane once more. Takes his marker out to the corner there. Donald Keoghan, the Meath man. Back in it comes here. Scoring opportunity, which is spurned by James Nocton, and that becomes Munster's 6th wide of the game.
Yeah, the score is definitely on.
And so the man of the match for this game will be ready to announce it. And there he is. And it is very worthy man of the match, I think you'll agree. An Alliance Munster man of the match. It's Killian Spillane.
Yes, Killian's been the outstanding forward for Munster in both games. Thoroughly deserved. Scores off his left and right foot, and who knows, he might win the game for them yet.
But it's a 2-point game. 3.5 to go. Leinster attacking. Kieran Byrne. Taking it forward is Dean Healy, helped out by Ronan Wallace. Sean Bugler now, 50 metres out. Giving it back to Bugler. Bugler trying to give and go. Wallace is available. Thought about giving it back, and then composed himself and hit it beautifully over. Nicely done. His only point of the game, the multi-Farnham player, Westmeath's Ronan Wallace.
Yeah, Ronan has had a very good game, both defensively and offensively there. Good score for him. Sensible score, 3 points up.
Well, we used to say 2 points was a dangerous lead. Now 3 points can be a dangerous lead with a goal that's worth 4.
Yeah.
Sean Walsh down into the corner. Well retained. Killian Spillane again. Where he's gone today, so too has Donald Keogan when he's been on there.
Yeah, the Munster just need to get a score, be it a 1-pointer or 2-pointer, to leave one score in it.
Tyke Morley back, looking at the target here. Emmett McMahon feeding it outside. Jones carried in here. Jones lost it, but Munster still have it. There's a great block down, brilliantly done that time by Ronan Jones. Ronan Jones of Meath getting the two hands out there, and that has set up the next possible attack. Mikey Bambrick getting it down.
Yeah, probably a match-saving block there by Ronan Jones. With the time to run on the clock, you'd imagine Leinster now will see this game out.
And that they'll be hoping to do. Dean Healy out to the flanks once again, looking at the target, and that one has gone away left as well. Another missed opportunity. This time it was by Mikey Bambrick, the Carlow player.
Yeah, again, the shot was on. At least he went for it. So there's still an opportunity remaining for Munster with just inside 90 seconds to go. So a goal here would win them the game.
Well, this is what they've got to do now at this stage with 1:17 remaining. Tyke Morley trying to set up the next Munster attack. Booted forward here to Sean Walsh, who got a goal last night here in the opening match for Munster in this series. He's still there, 20 metres out, let fly, and it might be helped in, and very nearly was. That time it was Chris O'Jones getting the final fingers to it, but denied by goalkeeper Killian Roach. There was your goal chance. Down come Leinster once again now to try and see out this tie. Mark Barry got a very fine point a little while ago. Was on the Taunton Cup Team of the Year. And now soloing forward again, Barry. Quinn back in. And that one booted up and booted over the crossbar. And that's a fine point by Dean Healy.
Yeah, Kieran Byrne from Louth did very well there, and a great point there by Cian Healy. Great point.
So Dean Healy from Wicklow, 27 years of age, getting his first point, now putting 4 between them. That should be enough now. Only 12 seconds or 10 left, and Munster have to get a goal, so they're booting it in here with Tommy Walsh. It's all to go for now. Great strong defence there by Leinster. The referee saw a foul inside. It's got to be a free out. It's all over, and Leinster beat Munster for the Shield, the third place in this Interprovincial series, the Alliance Football GAA Championship for the 4 provinces. It was a very, very good contest, won in the end by Leinster. It's not quite over just yet, it would appear. And the referee does finally blow that whistle, Jim, and it is victory for Leinster.
Yeah, I think the last quarter, the first quarter, Leinster were the dominant team. Munster and Fairness came back in the second quarter, and predominantly the third quarter where they got their scores. I think over the
Miss Barmer, please tell the court about the night of Thursday the 22nd of December 1994.
You mean the night he killed me?
Julia, stay with us.
John.
Delia.
You're a bit of a free spirit, aren't you?
Come and dance with me, John.
Sit down.
Are you scared of him? I woke up and you were strangling me.
You need to finish with him.
I want you to move out.
I want to talk to you.
Would you please read what is written?
May you never die until I kill you.
Until I Kill You starts Monday the 4th of November on Virgin Media Play and Virgin Media 1.
Harvey Norman, your technology specialists. Discover the latest from all the biggest brands, like the new Samsung Galaxy Ring, and expand into a world of AI-driven insights to help you discover your best self. Designed to wear 24/7, it offers effortless health tracking from day to night, constantly analyzing your wellness habits, sleep quality, and heart rate to build a comprehensive picture of your wellness for $459. With flexible payment options and our best price guarantee, why shop anywhere else? Harvey Norman, your technology specialists.
Go!
Go wild with the new hybrid or electric Peugeot, now with a range of up to 700 kilometres, and get a €500 Dunnes Stores gift card and a free 3-year service plan. Test drive your new Peugeot today.
Aldi at Halloween, you might lose your head with such deadly value. Halloween is heading your way? Let their fiendish fingers find these. Heads up, barn rack under €1.
So you're right. You're other right.
And unbeatable value on Guinness. Cool all Aldi.
The Lotto jackpot is an estimated €4 million. The National Lottery. It could be you.
This season is the perfect time to keep discovering and plan your next short break. Explore the sights and sounds of Wicklow. Find somewhere cosy in Galway. Keep the sports fans happy in Limerick. Or lose yourself in the majesty of County Kerry. With so much to see and do this season, visit discoverireland.ie to plan your next short break.
These far-right guys are pretty good at what they do.
They come to our town, they stir up hate, they offer absolutely no solutions, and then they leave.
We've seen the centre of Dublin go up in flames because of lies.
Well, you may throw your rock, hide your head, working in the dark against your fellow man.
We just want a safe town.
It's important to intervene now before it gets out of control, because it will get out of control. It'll go like the rest of Europe.
We gotta cut you down.
Remember, check your ego at the door. Everything that you wanted and even more.
I am ready to love again, definitely.
He can do whatever he wants. I'm ready to fire you and Hannah.
She is unreal. She's sexy.
I'm investigating a murder. It's Rebecca Barty's account.
What are you gonna get out of this?
Made a mistake.
I'm an idiot who can't keep her mouth shut.
We're about €40,000 in, trying to have a baby.
Feel that, Lucy?
Yes.
Virgin Media Play. Stream the best content free.
With her marriage on the brink, Danny's suspicions are setting in. Just who is the culprit? All will be revealed tomorrow night as The Body in the Lake concludes at 9 on Virgin Media Play and here on Virgin Media 1.
Dogs don't care what they eat. Naturo do. Naturo. Proudly sponsors For the Love of Dogs. Naturo. Proudly sponsors For the Love of Dogs.
There's nobody else I want to be committed to.
I just want to be part of the waitress.